So, John, thank you for coming and joining me. I'm excited to have you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
It's
We've talked about doing this for a while.
I know.
Excited that
I'm glad you're in New York. I was just saying before we started recording, like I realized that like the IRL connection and like looking in someone's eyes is so much better than doing it on like a Zoom,
Yeah, completely agree. I've had a week full of meetings and intentionally came because you needed to shake a hand and look people in the eye and say, "Is this real?" Like, you can't make up for that.
It's crazy too. We all used to go to work 5 days a week from like 8 to 5, 6, whatever, and be in an office that whole time. Yeah. And now like the energy required to like, and I don't know I guess it's like post-pandemic things changed, but like the energy required to actually get up, get dressed, get on the train, go into the, into the office or into the city or to whatever. And then you're like, oh God, I got to recover. I need 2 days just to recover from that.
We understand how more efficient we can be. I wish I was only going to work 5 days a week. It feels like it's always around us.
Yes, that is true. It is always around us. Yeah. What do you guys work in the office?
We do.
Okay.
And we are back full all
5 days.
week.
Okay.
And we're still, depending on the role, I certainly travel a lot and out with people, and whether you're doing research or producing new advertising, new work. And so it feels, it is that energy is different.
Yeah.
But the benefit has been, super, super clear. Like we are making decisions are happening a lot faster.
Yeah. Because it's like setting up a 30-minute Zoom call and then it's like, oh, I don't like, let's push the call. Okay. Now it's next week. And meanwhile, when somebody's next to you, you can just be like, hey, can I ask you a quick question? Like there's so much value in that.
Yeah. We spend a lot of time just in team rooms and moving back and forth. And it just is, it's just easier. You get rid of, I use the word politics less in a really big corporation, using that less because, hey, let's just, you bump into someone and you can actually make a decision.
Yeah. That's cool. But at the other hand, it is kind of nice. Like there's been this level of flexibility I think people enjoy when they can do some hybrid work and be at home.
Absolutely.
But, I work from home every day and truthfully, I'm like a little bit lonely, Yeah,
I feel that.
Yeah.
I miss, and I know we share this in common, I miss the flexibility to be out on a bike ride at various times and I use those things to re-energize myself. I don't find that an office space is a place where new creative thought comes.
Yes.
It just is not, it's not natural.
Yeah.
And so getting out, whether it might be like a walk into a retail store and like observe a sales interaction or we'll listen into customer service calls, or I was just a few weeks ago was out with our contract union labor force out in trucks, like watching installs and how they interact with people. And that was fascinating. So you need to find places where you can learn and relax and be inspired.
That's really smart because you do advertising, which is like completely unrelated to like going out on union calls. But I'm assuming that having that space, being in a different environment, gives you new thoughts, new ideas. Oh, we should be thinking about it this way. Or, oh, actually, because I've had this different level of texture of my experience, I can bring that into my day-to-day world.
It was the best investment of my time in a very long time.
Yeah.
I came back and I walked over to my friends who are officially on the brand team. And I said, I was out in a truck with the brand team.
Yeah.
And they were, talking directly to customers. And there were a few moments it's like, ooh, that probably would fall outside of our brand guidelines, how we officially talk about it. But as we walked away, the customer had a human being that they had spoken with who gave a business card and said, if you have any issues, you call me. You don't have to get stuck in any, don't think about us as this big amorphous company like
human.
Like you can talk to me. You got a guy who will come and fix these things for you. And I was super inspired, and it's changed some of the things that, even I'm going to do as an advertiser.
That's cool.
Of watching how really that most important connection, how the brand really shows up.
Yeah.
Not how I think about it on a whiteboard.
Yeah. It's so interesting because that, like, I got a guy, everybody wants a guy. Like, everybody wants the person they can call at the restaurant to get them the reservation on Saturday night, or the person they can call or text when they have a problem or whatever. And like, that's such an, especially in this world where we're moving to, like, everything is kind of being driven by AI, everything is sort of being automated, chat, now you're trying, lots of customer service, they're pushing you towards like chatbots. And so it's like that human interaction, like, do you see it becoming even more important?
Oh, I think I think the difference between a synthetic, I don't even know if that's even the right word, I've been using it a lot, like that sort of synthetic bot relationship, that whether you're speaking to it or typing into it, I think it'll become even more apparent that as human beings, we want the truth of looking somebody in the eye or hearing that voice of knowing, you see me, you get me. I mean, it's super important in our own personal relationships.
For sure.
Like, it makes all the difference for you to really trust someone, or to trust your money or something of importance to you. Being able to look and talk to a human matters.
Yeah.
And I think there's a world where those have to coexist.
Yeah.
There's great places where AI needs to live. And I'm exploring, I spend so much of my time exploring that, and it's fun.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's like, how far should this go?
Yeah. What do you think about the humans and the machines and how they work together? Like, what needs to be human and what needs to be automated?
I think it's the probably the most important debate that we can have right now and for a long time. I don't have a clean answer to it, other than we have to feel what is right. And it's easy. Like, I've had so many interactions where we're doing an evaluation of some AI use case, and we get down to the point where you're looking at the dollars and cents. And it's like, okay, I can simplify these three things, and therefore I can cut this out. And it like becomes this equation. And I go, wait a second. That one, that's fine. Like, that's something that you can remove humans out of the mix, or you can remove creativity out of the mix. But those others, let's be really careful that just because you can doesn't mean that you should.
Yeah.
And we won't know the impact of those things for years to come. And I don't want to be at a place where the brand becomes a bot, and that's the only relationship that our customers have. And so having those careful conversations, and we're all going to get it wrong to some extent.
For sure.
But
there's going to be short-term
decisions
that are made for cost or whatever that are going to have longer term that we may not see for 3 to 5 years.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So we have to ask the questions and take every decision with a human, some human speculation, as well as leaning into it. So that's kind of a weird non-answer answer.
Yeah.
But,
no, I get what you're saying. It's like, don't be a Luddite and sort of like embrace technology, because technology has given us a lot in the last 100 years, but also at the same time, like, recognize what needs to still be human.
Yeah.
I was with a bunch of creatives last night, creative agency people who were talking about, like, well, so far, and writers who were like, so far our jobs are safe because AI sucks at writing. It has no soul. It has no, doesn't have the nuance of like the texture of human relationships, or like how we talk to each other, or how we think about things, or what. It just kind of like spits out like lifeless, like non-human content. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think that if you can use it in the right ways and not try to replace like what really actually needs to be human, then it can, like, if you can replace the mundane shit that nobody wants to do, cool. But if you are trying to replace the human side, Yeah.
We're having the same conversations. I'd say I went into a meeting actually this morning, and it was all about automating some creative workflows. And, even after a short amount of time, we went and took a few projects that we kind of had on the shelf and said, let's go use this to solve trafficking. If anyone's ever been on the media side and see all the complicated spreadsheets and tools and other things, let's go like take something that really no human really wants to do and that is riddled with human error as a result, and go resolve those. But when it comes to the creative side, I would say, and this has been said before, that AI is as bad as it's going to be today ever, right? It's as bad as it's ever going to be is today. It keeps getting better, and
just like we're as young as we'll ever be today.
Let's not talk about that. But so I think leaning in, we've got some agency partners that their whole business is built on amazing creative from humans, but they're also leaning in entirely and doing parallel work streams.
Yeah.
So let's go do it the traditional way,
Yeah.
and let's go do it with the best tools available,
Yeah.
and see what gets produced. I think that's just a good example of saying this is happening. I'm going to lean into it, but I also want the absolute best product as the output, and it's not there yet. But
it's not there yet.
It will come in a number of ways.
Yeah, I could see that. We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw this year's and last year's Coca-Cola Christmas ads
that
were AI.
Yeah.
And I don't
all
know
the pushback.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they weren't that good.
Yeah.
They were
it was you had that nostalgia and the visuals that people have loved. They're part of their brand. I mean, talk about a cherished brand in Coca-Cola. But yeah, it's that subtlety that is different that we have to be really careful of. And I think there are lots of people who are talking about it in the industry now, but I'm also encouraged by a younger generation. I see this with my kids and nieces and nephews who look at, I talk about dinner conversation. I had an amazing one over recent holiday, and they were looking at the older people in the room, and basically the summary was, you've made a mess of things. Like, all this technology is too much. We're like turning off notifications. We're getting rid of social media.
Yeah.
Like, we want IRL, in real life experiences. We're not the way that you've pegged us. And I look at this, and it gives me hope. It's like, they can come and pull back some of the things that as a technology person and many others just so excited, like we need more. Yeah. And do you need more connectivity, or do you need meaningful connections?
Yeah, I think that's really interesting. Do you see that with your own kids? Like, are they sort of like this, actually that's not cool?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, they're the ones that, this is not a new conversation that they've had. I've been fortunate to be at some companies that were really, really innovating, and the bit that my kids mention the most is, they ask the most, like, well, why? Like, why do I need that? Like, what is that doing differently? And the questions that they're asking were nothing that I would have asked. I was like, oh, isn't this exciting? Because you get caught up in those waves. And I think AI can be that way too. There've been many bubbles where we get very excited about, and you don't always see around the corner. And I appreciate the skepticism of like, how will this impact relationships? Is this going to create a world that is equal and offers equal opportunity for different types of people? They're just very aware of those things. And I don't think it's unique to my kids.
It's like the next generation is thinking about this.
I think it really is. Cool. I hope they save the world.
I hope so too. And the planet.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to switch gears a little bit. You are a big outdoor person, cyclist. You love to go to national parks. Like, what do you think having that sort of adventure spirit has, like, do you pull that into your work life? And if so, like, how? Or how do you think about, like, trying new things or, like, taking risks?
Yeah. I think, anyone who's been in a career for a number of years, as you have more responsibility, as life becomes more complex, there's a lot of noise. And for me, my reset is really unplugging. And I love to spend extended amount of time, in nature. And some people will call some of the things I've done extreme. They become a little normal for me. I took a month away and backpacked solo across Colorado a few years ago, and So last summer I spent a week and I biked across Colorado, all through the mountains, and
No, I remember seeing all your pictures, and I was like, "Damn, that's intense."
Yeah, and there are some crazy, wildlife stories and things
I hope you
that
had
go
bear spray.
on. No,
Okay, cool.
and I've seen bear and other things. But what I find is that there is this sort of meditative phase that I get into, and there is a lot of just internal soul searching, and in the world, it's hard to really listen to yourself. And I've just had amazing breakthroughs.
Yeah.
So maybe you can't take a month or a week.
Yeah.
But I try and do that at least once a week with, multiple hours. And for some people, it may be a workout, or it may be yoga, or it may be reading or something, whatever that is, like finding a place that you really can think has made all the difference.
Yeah, and not think, right? It's a little bit too of like move your body and be not in your head, and sort of be in like a flow state a little bit, where you're like cycling or you're doing whatever, and you kind of stop thinking too, because I think sometimes we have a hard time turning our brains off, and all of our devices are intentionally structured so that we don't turn our brains off. And so getting like the most healing thing can be like, I feel the same way. It's like getting out in nature or going on a 3-hour bike ride or whatever. It's like you can get into that flow state.
The most important breakthrough that I have found is not the times when I've come up with some creative idea or something I take immediate back to my team, but has been better understanding myself. And in those extended trips, I look back and I've realized that I've lived much of my life too rigid. I come up with a plan and like, here's where I need to be at this time. It's just, you look at it as a schedule, right? I'm being productive in my day. But then I get out and I'm out on a trail somewhere, and I wasn't planning on the 2-hour thunderstorm that's above tree line where you can get electrocuted.
You're like, this was not in my agenda.
It wasn't. Or the fact that I've ran out of water, and one of my, like, those things happen. And how do you speak to yourself? How do you treat yourself?
Oh my God.
When your plan goes off the rails? And so in my extended trips, what I realized is I was my own worst enemy, that I needed to be more flexible and allow things to flow. And while that seems obvious, like, you just need to allow things to flow, until you get in those situations, and I manufactured a situation, was privileged to be able to do these, I realized, I need to be more flexible as a boss, as a partner, as a father. I need to stop talking and listen more and be flexible in everything.
And
just
less
major
controlling,
breakthroughs. Oh my gosh,
and like controlling and attached too. It's like, I'm attached to this outcome. I'm in control of my schedule, and if something goes wrong, I'm instantly angry. And when I guess as we get older, we start to learn that, like, letting a lot of that go, letting go of that control, like, that's just the ego trying to, like, be in control of something that, by the way, we're not in control of,
That's exactly true. One question that comes up a lot that came from this time away was, as new people, as you go to work for a new company or a new team, or if you're a leader and you have new people that come in, oftentimes they will ask you, or they will look to understand, like, how does that manager, I'm not going to say leader because you are in a management position, maybe you're a leader, I think that's a title that's earned, but oftentimes, like, regularly, you look like, how do I communicate with the people who are above me? And too often people in senior management positions look for others to conform to them. And while there's a certain amount of that's required for some structure and process and outcomes, I just found that the more that I desire to be a leader so I can get more out of people and bring their unique talents and perspectives in, then I need to adapt how I give feedback, how I show up,
how you show up,
all of it. And it's hard.
Hell yeah.
Like, I can read the book, I can say it right now, and then I can go, oh my gosh, like, I made all those mistakes.
Totally.
But it's the thing that I'm working on. I don't think I'll ever be done probably in my entire career, because it's always adapting.
Yeah.
But that I realize, and I realize it because I look back now, and this is based upon, like, real personal breakthroughs. I look back and go, I fumbled at these places in my career with these bosses. What was common? well, I'm common denominator, but also there's a behavior that's common. So
Sure.
I need to express maybe to that boss, to that partner, like, this is how I can better work with you, but I also need to be flexible and recognize how I'm going to respond. And that's
100%.
taken
One
me
of
to
my
become an
coaches,
old guy to figure that
of
out.
course, it takes a long time. One of my coaches always says, like, that feedback, it really, like, feedback, that's all feedback for you. And like, you get to take it instead of being rigid about it or being like, fuck that. Like, you get to take it and be like, oh, I have gotten the same feedback with the last 3 bosses. What could I do to potentially change my situation? So yeah, I agree with you. It's like, this is just the stuff we learn over time.
Yeah.
But to that point, tell me what you would tell young John, like 22-year-old, young, hungry John.
That's changed a lot. I think a handful of years ago, I would have said, just keep pushing, keep raising your hand. And I grew up, I was a big family, generations of small business owners, and you got up every day and you scrapped. And you could be successful by working hard and building good relationships. And that has served me really well.
Yeah.
Been a great cheat code, if you will.
For sure.
But what I have evolved to is also telling younger me, you are enough.
Yeah.
You're doing great.
Yeah.
You've overcome a lot.
Yeah.
Be patient with yourself, because in the patience I have found, or I'm trying to find, a place where I can settle my mind to make better decisions.
Yes.
Longer term decisions.
Yeah. It's like, you don't have to put so much of your worth and your value into what you accomplish and achieve. You just know that you already have that inherent value.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So.
People will, when I speak at various places or get introduced, oftentimes they jump right to, I'm introducing Lauren and this is her job title. And you're like, no.
Yeah.
Like, I've done this thing intentionally, and some will laugh, is like, I'm a dad.
Yeah.
Right? These are the things that are important to me in my life. And oh, by the way, I've also done all these other things.
Yeah.
And I get that you're in a place probably for your professional credentials.
Yeah.
But I don't want to leave this world as the person with professional credentials, because there's somebody else that's going to replace that position. But hopefully I've left something with the people around me that matter, and just in society that has an impact of who I am. And
beautiful.
that's a pivot.
That's a beautiful sentiment.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
John Starkweather, I love talking to you. Thank you for coming. I
Thank you for
appreciate
having
you.
me.